Hi and welcome back. I've been inspired to do more videos recently with a lot of the energies that are running rampant in our world. This video is specifically going to be about the twin flame journey, more specifically geared towards the celebrity twin flame journey. Something I don't like to talk about very often because it is, number one, it's shunned by a lot of the twin flame community. A lot of the twin flame community is solely about couples that have been fighting for a while. They're on again, off again. I honestly, I don't know where it is at this moment because I shy away from anything that has to do with twin flame stuff. So I don't watch any twin flame videos. I don't involve myself in twin flame groups on any type of social media. I do a little bit of research here and there, but mostly it is ancient types of texts, or at least information that has to do with like the world view on relationships and the cords that are cast between people, and as far as the energy of the twin flame, where it all comes from, and where I believe I most resonate with is prior to birth and coming into this world. So my views on the twin flame journey are that we each kind of resonate with it because there's something deep within us, so profound, so ideal, that it has a lot to do with the perfect love. And just so you know, the perfect love doesn't really truly exist. However, our ideals of the perfect love do exist. And so there are many different ideals, and many people have been conditioned by Disney or the movies that we watch, but a lot of the movies that I've watched that just trigger me, I can't even remember the name of one of them, but very similar ideals. You meet in heaven, and then, or whatever heaven is, or the in-between world, and then you have this bond that is so strong that you feel like when you're birthed into this earth that you must find one another, and you do whatever it takes. And a lot of the time when you're growing and learning about yourself and your ideals, and you're going in and out of relationships, you're learning about what you are willing to put up with in a relationship, what you don't want to put up with in a relationship, your own boundaries, your own confidence levels, and why they are the way that they are, as far as the way that you were raised or your upbringing, or just certain coping techniques that you've had your whole life. And so when I had the visions of Chris when I was 13 and coming to Portland from Korea, I was in a very, very deep state of depression. And I was asking universe, when am I going to find my love, the ideal person for me, the person that I can build a life with, the person that has this similar ideals, that wants to do wonderful things and change the world and heal people. And that's, like I said, I had the visions. I didn't know really, they didn't seem very important back then. And to be honest with you, it wasn't until 2016, 17 when I had flashbacks of those visions. I was like, what does it mean? Why? And then I, seeing him in so many movies where he portrays a hero, or the type of person that wants to make change, or the romantic, it just every movie that I watched and his personality in those movies really rang true to what I was looking for. And before I go further, I want to express to you that I understand that the person in the movies is not the person outside of the movies, that these people are playing a character. And so I understand that part. Okay. I'm not fantasizing about this person being the characters that I've watched in his movies. Um, Instead, I like to think that each actor or actress brings a little piece of themselves to these characters, and that's what makes these characters pop. That's what makes these characters really unique to any other character. And that's why the casting is so important when you are choosing the ideal person for the role. They have to have something, je ne sais quoi, something, the it factor. And so Chris, for me, has the it factor. Um, I wanted to talk about tips and tricks and maybe even a little bit of the things that I've gone through on this twin flame journey as far as ways to keep it alive and keep it strong in your mind, and different obstacles that we may be presented with, and especially during divine timing, as far as when the cosmos aligns just perfectly and you're going through all of these karmic lessons and you're learning all these things about yourself, uh, how hard it can be. So I'll start with one. I have made a lot of videos that have been back and forth, just emotionally, like roller coaster. Like I love him, or I commit to the twin flame celebrity thing, or I remove all titles of celebrity twin flame. And most of that is from fear, because when you're on this journey as a twin flame, as a regular twin flame, should I say, there's not much. It's a lot of ego, but at some point you realize that it's not necessarily about the person as much as it is about the development within. And when you understand the development within, then you understand that what you're doing and saying has an effect on everyone around you. And I have tried to be authentic and hold a strong sense of morality and integrity with my videos, because people are watching. And these people might be Chris's people, or they might just be Chris. And so when I'm trying to relay these feelings and information, whether they're coming from me or I'm being this medium, this sound piece for higher source, I really want to make sure that I'm deciphering the information, and that it comes out not as ego-based or fear-based, but as something that can be used to help people understand that it is a process. I have stepped back out of fear multiple times, and it's apparent in my videos. I've tried to be just very candid, but it's a process in which you find your connection with the universe. You find your connection with your higher self and your future self, and you come back to that connection with every different shift in astrology, with all of the energies that we are facing. You just kind of find yourself asking yourself what it is that you truly want over and over again, until you can really solidify what it is that you truly want in life. And along the way, if you're not receiving messages from the universe by way of numerology or any other way that it's comfortable for you, then something's wrong. But for myself, I'm able to take whatever universe is showing me and decipher in a way that they're calling me out. They're like, do you really want this? You've planted seeds for this. You're learning what you needed to move forward, but Are you going to settle? Do you really want to settle? And with every potential partner that has come into my life, whether it is someone that I think would just be really ideal because we work at the same environment, or someone that I just meet that has a lot of really good qualities that I really enjoy, I have to sit back and take the time to really understand what it means. And so I'm single, you know, I have dated, and every time I will kind of put myself in check, like, okay, you've been working really hard on this whole twin flame thing to get your mind right, to get your body mind spirit connection right, and be prepared so that when you ever meet this guy, which I believe still may happen someday, because I honestly do believe he's my true match, then, I'll be ready. And I don't know if you know this, but Katie Holmes even had visions of meeting and being with and being married to Tom Cruise before it ever happened. And it sounds crazy, but it actually happens. Sometimes it actually happens, which leads me to believe that Katie Holmes is, very intuitive. And she's an actress, which means that she's cognitively aware of her abilities and shifts very well. And one of these days, I'd love to meet her and pick her mind about that whole experience. Maybe minus a couple of factors, like the whole scientism thing, because I don't really want to go into that. But anyway, my point is I've had to really ask myself brutally honestly with what I've chosen as a life path. What do I really want? I'd love to help people on a grand scale. Reiki has helped me to understand that helping people, regardless of if it's a grand scale thing or not, that it's still very much needed, and it is just fulfilling. But it's also helped me hone in on my telepathic skills, which is very important, especially in the twin flame journey, when you're going to be with a partner that has a lot of skills and talents and abilities that are similar to yours, and you're on the same page. When you have such strong ideals, it's really easy to get carried away with it and be very singularly focused. It's something that I try to do very often, to be open-minded and not so close to my own ideals or dogma. I try to steer from dogma altogether, being non-religious and spiritual, yet not toxic spiritually, and just kind of go with the flow, and being reminded by spirit that I need to be very clear with you about my intentions is important to me. So this video is to state for all intents and purposes that I truly do believe somewhere deep within me, in a very romantic way, a very, very much love can save the world way, that, he's my match, and that I still have very strong emotional feelings towards him. At first, it was emotional, it was ideal, it was sexual. I mean, because he's beautiful in a lot of ways, but he's very sexy. And over the course of 4 years, he's a person, I'm a person. He's very talented, I'm very talented. I don't give myself enough credit. I don't exude much confidence when I'm alone. However, in the work environment and workplace, I've come to really understand that I can be really charismatic, get along with multiple groups of people, that sometimes I can fixate on things, and that maybe that's not so good at times, but sometimes it is, and that how that really is playing out in my personal life, it might be important to pay attention to. And so I try not to fixate too much on the twin flame journey and on Chris. However, there are times in which certain planets and energies are aligned or in alignment or coming into alignment, because I feel things weeks before they happen. Being a Pisces sun, a Cancer moon, Leo rising with my Aries and Venus, I feel things very intensely. I feel even now that things are moving in a direction that are destined, and that we truly need to make it happen if that's what we want. And making it happen could be just as easy as going on a walk, or it could be as confusing as letting someone become a part of your life just purely for the experience of having a lesson of love, of understanding that in relationships, in meeting new people, when you are allowing yourself to get involved with someone, whether it's intimately, mentally, emotionally, that there are still boundaries that you need to set for yourself long term. For instance, when there is a strong attraction for both of you, and he's not your twin flame or she's not your twin flame, and you're faced with merging your energies sexually, then you have to understand that there are going to be consequences. People don't realize how strong the sacral energy is, the sacred sexual energy. When you merge and give yourself to someone in that way, you are automatically letting them cross a boundary that you may not have let them cross if you weren't, if you were on your game and you were paying attention to all of the triggers and red flags. I've recently, I met this person who I shall not name because it's personal. And he ended up being just so vibrant and funny and optimistic and just really good person to have in my circle. And there were a lot of attractions, but there were also a lot of red flags. And I understood this and really wanted to keep him as a friend, and he feels the same way. And I'm able to talk with him openly. And he knows everything I do. He knows about Chris. And he still wants to stick around, which I think is really cool, And so this is what I'm hoping for my future with Chris, is that we can start by being really good friends, that we can have this open communication and be brutally honest with ourselves and with each other, and still have boundaries and still grow. Once you meet someone, fall in love, and then you feel like you're comfortable and they're like, oh, don't go to the gym today because I really love you for who you are and I want you to come snuggle with me because I don't have much time before I have to go to work, and it's going to throw off your schedule. It is, because usually by the time you get home from the gym, they're leaving for work. And when are you going to get more time to do that? And sometimes, it's okay to skip a day because there is a rest day. That's important too. You have to allow your body to rest. But still, it's like once you veer from your normal path, which is in perfect alignment with the universe, and you decide that you're going to be lazy one day, it can have serious effects on your relationship. You can start to doubt yourself. You can start to feel guilty, shameful of, just being lazy or taking a day off. Your partner even. What's really strange is the person involved in saying, I love you for who you are. Stay with me, snuggle, just today. They can even start to think, well, why would this person give up on themselves? Why would they be so irresponsible to not go to the gym, not work out, and be with me? And that's just human nature. It's one of those things where you love a person for their strengths, and you accept their weaknesses, However, you would like them to continue to be their own person and develop their own skills and abilities and strengths and still be your person. And this is generally what healthy relationships look like, is that each person individually is able to take care of their own desires and needs, uh, and still be available for their partner. Um, you know, this is what a lot of people want, but they're not really sure how to get, because there's so much toxic codependence still within each one of us. And even if you're single, you still have codependent tendencies, with the way that you eat, certain things that you depend on outside of yourself, like crystals. I'm serious. Like when you depend on things outside of yourself to fulfill a need that is deep within, and you're not giving yourself enough credit to have the confidence to get up and do the things that you need to do, that is codependence. It's seeing the glass half full. It's giving excuses for not doing the things that you need to do to stay in alignment with your higher self, your true self. I was inspired to make this video because I know that a lot of my videos, I just don't like talking about twin flame stuff, but I honestly, truly do believe that the idea of the twin flame journey and the free will experiment, the twin flame experiment, they do work. They do, when you're doing it the right way. And that's to become a full, solid human being, healthy within yourself, before coming into contact and union with the person that you're meant to be with. And your ideas of this person that is ideal for you and the person that you're meant to be with will change over time based on how well you treat yourself. If you are still backsliding with drugs and alcohol, you're not going to have a clear mind. If you are backsliding with poor diet and not getting enough exercise or not drinking enough water, your mind, body, spirit connection is not going to be clear enough to be picking up the energies, the communication that the universe is sending to you. This is why I believe it's so important not only to meditate, but to really take care of your body. When you're not paying attention, when you're not present, you're not going to see all of the signs that the universe is sending your way. So I'm brutally honest here with myself that yes, I love him. I love the many different pieces of him that make up the whole person that he is. I love that he has such a strong family sense and family bond. I love watching what he does with his brother, the scare stuff. I mean, that's just sibling stuff, I don't necessarily have that because my siblings and I are so different that we tolerate each other in spurts, usually during the holidays. And there is a bond. However, we're all just so different that, we agree to disagree, and we still enjoy each other's time. And family is important to all of us. And that's why, my sister moves over here from North Carolina to be closer to family, but also to take a new job. And we have been really enjoying watching my niece, Brooklyn, grow up. And she's just brilliant. And I can't wait to have children. I'm only 42. In March, I'll be 43, but that doesn't seem to really matter because there are women in their 50s still having children, and they're taking great care of their bodies, so I don't see why it couldn't happen to me. Even with one ovary. It could still happen. I am still very much looking forward to raising our two boys that I've seen. That's still another thing that I kind of wonder about, because I see their names quite a bit, especially when I was dating. I don't have any more dating apps on my phone. It's just one of those things that, it'll take time. I'll waste time by scrolling through people's bios and pictures and just kind of, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then once I meet them, it's just like, oh, I'm comparing them to Chris the whole time. And my ideals are like, maybe not, and then there's, the occasional one person that's just super, and I'll keep them as a friend. So I kind of got off track just then. Sorry. But yeah. So when you're trying to do the whole celebrity twin flame thing, which is completely different, well, not so completely different, but very much different, you've got to be really careful what you are putting out to the universe. And if you are feeling like it's taking too long and you want to give up, then just be aware that that's temporary, and that what you decide to do in that time, whether it's dating and karmically pulling in a soulmate, that the lessons learned will definitely help you when moving forward on the twin flame journey. If you're honest with yourself and see it as a lesson, and you're honest with the person that you get involved with, it's very important. Very important to be brutally honest with yourself and with anyone who comes into contact with you romantically or even emotionally, that, it's important to take our time here. It's important to understand my ideals. It's important to understand my boundaries. It's really important for me to understand your boundaries. It's important for me to understand what you want to do with your life so that I don't have expectations that are unrealistic. It's important to build dreams together if that's something that you want to do. If you have moved past your twin flame connection and understood that maybe they're only meant to be a friend or some influence in some way in your life, and you've chosen a partner that's outside of the twin flame union, then it's really, you've got to pay attention to their dreams as well. And if your dreams don't align, then you got to really address that too. Communication is hard nowadays. In old school movies, it was blunt, forward, and they didn't show how hard it was and what heartache came with, saying goodbye. And I understand that maybe we're not aligned right now, and I've got things that I still need to learn, and maybe we'll come into contact in the future, but right now this is what needs to happen, and there's pain associated with that. And that's what makes me really grateful that this celebrity twin flame journey has been the way it has been, because if it were a very physical environment where we had been on again, off again, and I still had a lot of things to learn as far as how to love someone, how to love myself, my own journey and aspirations in life, it may have been really hard to accommodate for his needs. And so I honestly believe that I'm on the right trajectory, in that, yeah, I do have more things to learn, but we're coming into a energetic point where alignment is possible. Union is possible because of everything that I have learned. I know that even with the things that I have yet to learn, that I'm strong enough to separate my lessons from my relationship. Or at least that inevitably the lessons will become more clear even when I'm in a relationship, and that I can see it for something that is mine and not something that I'm going to blame on him. That's something that people in relationships do, is they get so caught up in their own lessons in life, and sometimes they take it out on the person that they love the most, only because they don't understand that that person cannot be there for them right now because they're doing things that are associated with their life and their true intentions and purpose on the earth and in this time. So taking that into consideration is the most important thing that you can do. We are individuals. When we come together, our energies meld and the bond becomes strong, but we are still separate individuals. And we need to recognize the codependency for what it is and not necessarily rely on someone else to coddle us. We've had a bad day. Okay, you had a bad day. What can you do about it? I can go on a walk. I can drink some water. I can meditate. I can maybe watch a show. Maybe spend time with my animals. Maybe call a friend. Call my mom. Hey, Mom, how you doing? Miss you. Love you. Had a shit day. Thanks, Mom. I understand that you understand me now, so I'm feeling better. And now I don't have to lash out on or bring it to my partner, who probably has enough on his plate or her plate to deal with. But I wanted to clear the air once and for all that, this is illogical and a phenomena that I can't necessarily explain, but I completely resonate with. That, he has been shown to me and brought into my energetic sphere for a reason. And if it's just to better myself and just to become a better person for my next relationship, wherever and whoever that's with, then I respect that. But I can always dream, and I'll never give up on my dreams. And you shouldn't either. Just be real with yourself and your expectations, and just understand that if you really want something, then you've got to do what it takes. Anything that it takes. Everything that it takes to achieve those goals, including pushing yourself into something very scary and trying to understand everything in a much bigger spectrum, and trying to push yourself to do all of the research that you need to do to understand it. One thing that I have done, which is a horrible habit, is learn a little bit about a lot of things. And I can sound completely pompous sometimes because I don't have all the right information, which has bit me in the butt more than enough times for me to understand that, if I really want to know about something and really want to be able to speak about it in terms that people will understand, especially with scholars, then I need to be able to do my research and really just not sound like an ass. Or at least when I want to say something that may or may not be important, to practice the pause and listen more. Listen a lot more. I might learn something. So there's that. Anyway, I know that I put out a lot recently. Take your time if you are interested in the videos to just, go through them at your leisure, or leisure. I don't even know. So many different words out there. People pronounce differently. It's like leisure, leisure, tomato, tomato, whatever. But follow what's pulling you forward. Speak your truth, because it really could open doors for you. Just be careful. I love you. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.